Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today we are going to create a drum pattern. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are inside FL Studio version 21 and we are going to explore how to create a pattern, a drum pattern in particular, using the channel rack. So first of all, let's click on File up here and select New from Template and then Empty. Okay, so that we have an initialized project. Next, as you have seen in the previous tutorial, let's click here where it says View Channel Rack and we open the channel racks where you can create all different channels and you can assign instrument samples to each of the channel. As you create a new project, you have a pattern, which is this one, pattern number 1. So we're working on pattern number 1, and we use pattern to create songs, as you will see in coming tutorials. But for the purpose of this video, we have just opened the channel rack and we have selected a pattern 1 by default, and we're going to create a drum pattern inside the channel rack. Okay, so let's have a look at a bit at the channel rack and what it can do. You can see here it says sampler. If you click with the left mouse button, you go inside the sampler. At the moment, there is no sample which is actually loaded. Okay, here you have a selector where you can select the different channel. Here you have a number of steps. In this case, there are 16. How do you change the number of steps? You can see here, if you click and hold, you move up and down, you can change the number of steps, and it can go way over 16, as you can see, or less than 16. Indeed, you can see here a horizontal bar, which you can use to scroll. Okay, or you can change, if you go to the right hand side here, on the edge, click and hold, you can see it's getting blue, and then you move to the right, you can change the size of the window. And then again, if you go back here to the length selector, you can see now that we can go above 16. Okay, so that's how you can change, and of course, move here within the view of the different steps. But let's use 16 for now. I'll come back to these buttons later on, the graph editor and also the interactive step sequencer and piano roll view. I do a dedicated tutorial on that. Now the X is to close the window. Then here you have a swing, so you can add swing. Again, we'll cover that in another tutorial. This is where you can play or pause the pattern. In this case, it's playing, but there's nothing on it, so that is why it's empty. Here you can see you can change the size. You can drag and drop, you can change the size of the channel buttons. This is where you can sort, and again, I'll show you that as we move forward. This is the loop mode, this is the option, click and hold, and it will open up a different option for the channel rack. Then underneath here you have solo and mute button. The next one is panning left and right. Then you have volume. And this one, I'll come back to it in a moment, is the target mixer track. Okay, so here you have a number of steps. You can click with the left mouse button to activate them. You click with the right mouse button to deactivate them. Okay, if you click and hold, you can see you can draw. Okay, and of course remove or erase using the right mouse button. Okay, so that's quite straightforward. If you click on when it says sampler, it opens up the sampler instrument, which again doesn't have any sample loaded here. Let's close that. So how do we add a sample in this case, because we want to use samples for a drum and create a drum pattern? Well, you've seen in the previous tutorial, if you click here, you can open a browser. Okay, and if everything is closed, it will show like that. You are in the old view, so no filter. Okay, open where it says packs. Okay, and you will find yourself on this view. Of course, I already used this, so that's why it was open. Then you can click on drum, and then you can select some of the samples, and there are so many. Now, what you can do is, let's go to kick, and if you click on one, you can sample them. And as you can see, you have the waveform here at the bottom. You can click on the play here to sample it again, and you can change the volume there as well. Okay. Now you can click, drag, a nice animation, and drop. So if you drop it underneath where you can see the green arrow, it will create a new channel. Or if you go up until it highlights that button where it says sampler, it will replace that channel with that sample. Okay. Now, if I click on this, it will open again the sampler and you have the waveform now loaded. Okay. If you click with the right mouse button, you go into other option, which we'll talk about more later on. Again, if you are in the sampler here, you click here on the waveform, you can sample it again. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, let's close the kicks view here. Let's go to snare, and let's find this FPC snare one. Something you can also do, click the right mouse button, okay, and then you can say, open in a new channel. If I say send to selected channel, it will replace this channel with this sample, okay, because that is the selected channel, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to click here and open in a new channel. So as you can see, it opens the sampler and you have created a new channel. Now, to demonstrate again what you can do, let's go back to the kicks and select that FPC one click, right click, and then select send to selected channel. The first channel is selected here with this green selector here, therefore is replacing this sample. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But of course, you can also, right? You can also drag and drop. So let's go for a hi-hat. Okay, let's find some hi-hat that we like. This one is fine. Click, drag, and drop it underneath, not with a selection of a channel, otherwise you will replace that, but just underneath, and it will create a new channel for you. Okay. Of course, you can select a different channel like so through the selector. Okay. Nice and simple. Now let's create a drum pattern. So first of all, I want to close the browser so we have more space. So we can select to fill the step like so for the kick. Let's click play. Another way to actually do this would be, let me show you, which is quite clever. So right click here and you can say fill each 4 steps. There you are, done. And this is very useful because if I do it for the close hat, right click, fill each 2 steps, every 2 steps. Brilliant. Right? Or you could do, for example, you have an advanced fill, which I will cover another time, but you can say fill every A step as well, like so, right? Or as I said, you can do it manually. So right click to remove it, left click to add the step. Now let's play. You can solo. Let me show you that you can solo and mute different parts. You can change the palm position. You can change volume here. And you can also play and stop from up here. You have at the moment selected pattern. That is why it's playing the pattern. If I select song and I click play, it will not play anything because I don't have anything on my song. Okay.